said that during the first program, we've got just about 4 days left before the populace of Trinidad and Tobago go to the polls to choose the next government of our country. And this evening, we are continuing real hard discussions. This is STV, Real TV. This is the chair. Our guest in this round is Mr. Jack Austin Warner, and our panel is ready once again with some more questions.
Hi, good night, Shantz Marie Andrews from Take Back TV. Before the break, you mentioned lightly about the issue of campaign financing, right? And the population has had an influx of emails, calls, and other forms of media being thrown at us. What is the ILP's stance on campaign financing and party funding? And is it that y'all would be open and directed where y'all are the source of your funds, seeing as election season and so on, and that's something that the electorate wants to know?
The ILP is firm that there must be some laws to govern campaign financing. We believe it is wrong for 2 or 3 financiers to get behind back of government with all the money in the world, and then the government spends and get elected merely because, not because they're better, but because they could outspend another party. And we, therefore, I'm saying it's wrong, and there has to be some legislation for campaign financing. That's how we feel. Secondly, also, we believe that parties should, as a right, declare who their donors are. It has to be transparent. And if Joe Bloke give a party $1 million, then he must say so. And there should be limits also to how much any donor should give. So therefore, I'm making the point that as far as the ILP is concerned, we are for campaign financing, and we also are a place for making it transparent that donors must say who they are, and a ceiling be put on what they could give.
Okay, so as a follow-up to that, would the ILP be the first person to, even in this election season here, to come out with a list of saying these are our financiers in the interest of transparency, seeing as the UNC and the PPP has been saying that we don't know where this money is coming from. Mr. Warner has been plagued with allegations of corruption, and who's to know? Would you all be coming out? I mean, that's a good idea to come out to say these are our list of financiers.
But 4 days before an election, I don't think that would be of much value. But more importantly,
the population would value your honesty.
But more importantly, I believe that this must not be based on any whims and fancies. That should be all parties. All parties should do the same thing. I tell you something, I'm particularly concerned about the UNC because I know where they get their funding from. I know how. I know in some cases I know how much. So I say to you, let's all do it. Let us all do it as the first step to achieving what you have asked for.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Hi, good evening, sir. Brandon O'Brien from Take Back TT. In 2015, the UN published its most recent climate change report, and by far its most damning yet. And as an island nation which stands to lose significantly with the rise of sea levels and soil aridity, has the ILP developed any strategy to combat climate change?
In our manifesto, we raised that as an issue, and we said that we would appoint a committee, a task force they call it, but we say committee, to look into climate change, because we have realized that if we don't do that, the generation to come, right, will suffer. As such, therefore, study climate change, see what effects it has on the society, and how we could combat it and prepare it accordingly. That is on our manifesto as one achievement we ought to do within the next 5 years.
Understood. And another briefer question. One of my colleagues had asked earlier how you think the seats will go in the election, and you said 1993 or 2021. We just wanted to get clarification. Was the breakdown? Who have the 19? Who have the 1? If you could let me know, as you see now, voice. Please. Let's hear from the guru what the.
There are some fraudulent pollsters these days. All over the country, everybody's a pollster. And in fact, I keep making the point. You're better off when you don't even read them, because all of them have an axe to grind, and it seems to me that who pays the piper calls the tune. That's what is here. But to answer your question, the common view outside is that the UNC at best could get 19 seats. At worst, 16. Because the fact is, however we should try, guys, whatever you do, Mr. Prasad Bisesa, last day as a Prime Minister is Monday. Yes. Whatever you do, Mr. Prasad Bisesa last cabinet is today, ever. And I have never seen a woman, a Prime Minister, who has frittered away her chances as this one. So that's the first thing, 16 from 29 to 16. And obviously, the PM will get move from 12 to 19 or 20. But again, you know how fickle this society is. And when you say yesterday, and then a guy goes with a yellow jersey and $200 and give you just before voting day. And my friend, that's happening. That's happening. That is happening. And I'm saying to you, that is wrong. So the guy who gets his jersey and $200 believes that that's the end of the world. And he changes his vote. But if things remain as they are, there is no party that will get a full majority toward the government. And that's where the ILP comes in.
Just to follow up very quickly on what my colleague has asked, another hypothetical I want to throw out there. So the People's Partnership government retains 20 seats. The PNM administration, well, not administration, the PNM gets 18 seats and the ILP gets 3 seats. Are you willing, before the elections, to state that you'll form an alliance with the PNM or with any other party or set of parties to ensure that the People's Partnership does not return to government?
The ILP will not form an alliance with the UNC. That is given. The ILP will not form an alliance with the UNC. I leave the rest to your judgment.
Well, no, I understand what he's getting at, but there does remain, or are you saying that there does not remain the possibility of the ILP not forming an alliance with the PNM, not forming an alliance with the People's Partnership, and you simply have 2 opposition parties while the government has 20?
I'm not saying that.
Well, no, I just want...
I answered you negatively. Let me put it positively now. Right? Let me put it positively. Depending on the vote, the outcome of the elections, the ILP will sit down with the PNM and come to an arrangement. There is no way the ILP will do that with the UNC. Not this UNC, at least. No
Thank
way.
you very much, sir.
Suraj, Munilal, Devant Maraj, Lam Logan, are you crazy?
One more, if I could be allowed one more follow-up question.
Huh?
It's a hypothetical I've been throwing out to a number of people. What is the situation in your estimation if neither of the 3, let's say the 3 main parties, their leaders win their seat? What does our governance look? What does our governance look like post September 7th, and what is the ILP's plans in particular if you don't win your seat?
If I don't win my seat, I said if I don't win my seat, and that is very remote. But if
I like the confidence.
It's a fact. I just came from there, so you understand. I am aware with what's happening. By chance, if I don't win my seat, I will call a convention of the party, step down, and ask them to find another leader. I'll support them all the same, but I think it's only fair that I must of course vacate my position and let the party take out somebody else. I mean, it doesn't happen so in Trinidad, but that's the correct thing to do. Your party has lost. You have to step down and move on and go and fish, catch birds, or whatever you have to do.
Good night, Mr. Warner.
Yes, sir.
Leah Bristol here, Youth Ambassador CT. So I'm going back a little bit. So in 2013, you insisted that the flying squad was not to be resurrected. However, Mervyn Cordner claimed that he had meetings with both you and Gavin Hira. So I just wanted to explain the story behind that, because I never really got clarification. It was just hearing who claimed what. And
very, very quickly, Mr. Mervyn Cordner, a former police officer, had come to the Ministry of National Security to see me. I didn't see him, but I asked Gavin Hira to see him. His plan was to revive the flying squad. and to give them the same kind of powers which they had on the boroughs, commissioner boroughs. I told Gavin Hira, I will not deal with you guy. In fact, I went further. I contacted the Commissioner of Police, Steve Williams. I asked him for advice on how should I deal with this matter. And he told me, Jack, stay very far from that fella. So therefore I say, Hira, you deal with it. And Hira told me that the thing, of course, is it doesn't make sense. I said, fine. And for me, that was the end of the story. In the meantime, Cordell had offices and staff, and he employed. That's how government works. And he employs staff, he puts salary and so on. I mean, that is not how government works. I mean, I know this present government spends money willy-nilly. So if a place burns down, you get $5,000. If you're the cleaner, if you just come in last week and so on, if by chance you come in, you have a little internship, whatever it is, you get $5,000. That is madness. But I'm talking about normally, no government, not this one, no government works that way.
Thank you.
Mr. Warner, Kiran from Synergy TV. You made a comment in a bit that there are police officers that they are rich because of their actions, or but their salary does not match that, right? Now I can understand that business people become a little bit, have a higher profit margin because their risk is greater reward. There are media reports on social media that go out with no references at all that say that your net worth exceeds that of $1 billion US. Now, if that's true, could you confirm one more time that if that money is legitimately earned money, or if that report is true in any way at all?
I have seen the report, and as I keep telling you, I am dismissive of foolishness. That report was written by a member of the UNC and put on social media to show that, of course, we are billionaires. And in fact, it makes no sense. I think I'm number 4 on the list or something so. It's 1.6 billion. I mean, it is so foolish. And therefore, I'm saying to you, that does not make sense. I don't think that you should dignify that with a question. It just doesn't make sense. It's foolish. That's the hoping that they could use that to try to win the election based on the fact that we are so wealthy. That is not true. I know for me, it's totally untrue. So I have not even given it much credit.
Hi, pleasant evening, Mr. Warner. Christopher Walcott of the International Movement for Change. Do you know of any political parties that say mobilizing non-nationals to come into the country to either join political rallies or even to come in as voters?
I heard that the UNC has several tricks up their sleeve, some of which I expose in this week's Sunshine. I've heard, like you, that Ghanaians are coming here to flood the country to vote, that they didn't give them ID cards and so on, and all of this. I've been told that people have been asked to put their finger in red ink, and they'll get $200-300, and they will not be able to vote because they had ink already. So therefore, they pay you not to vote. In fact, I even heard where Timothy Hammersmith, who I thought was an intelligent person, saying of course, have a spoiled ballot. So the point I'm making to you is, at the end of the day, there are dirty tricks being employed. My sincere hope is that this does not become pervasive, because I do not think that this country, right, deserves that kind of trickery at election time. So I've heard these things, right, but I don't believe them. But then again, I'm making the point, where there's smoke, there's fire, right?
Mr. Warner, Ronaldo Williams again here, PNM UTAM. I know you first contested Shogunas West under the Basil Pandey administration, all right? You have been able to hold on to that seat even after you left the party, all right? Now you are contesting Shogunas East, and you feel very confident that, you know, it may go the way of the ILP. What I want to ask is, what do you do in Shogunas that have the people so, you know, attached to you, or sort of, you know, gravitate towards you on that level so much?
In all humility, my form of representation is unprecedented, unsurpassed, unparalleled. I go getting $1 a month. I go to office at 4 in the morning. I leave at 4 in the afternoon, sometimes even later. I help them build their homes when it has fallen down. I help them get scholarships. I sent a Chowtal band to Guyana and Suriname. I fix their roads and bridges. These are things unheard of. There is nobody has ever come to me, nobody, and has left without a smile. Even the rare times I tell them no, right? Also, anybody can see me, whether you live in Shogunas, West or East or Togo Saint Grandi, because my office is open. That kind of style, that kind of representation is unheard of.
Because sometimes people they would allege that, you know, Mr. Warner does pay the people and them and these type of things, you know.
Pay whom for what? Pay whom and for what?
Well, that's what people allege.
No, but even that,
they say that, yeah.
I don't mind the thing. But
right?
Just tell me, pay whom and for what?
Well, that's what they say. So I'm asking that because I want to know if it's because of the, as you said before, the representation, or is that true, and does that play a part in, you know, person's vote? Because I know earlier you said that the UNC they would give you a T-shirt with at least $200 in it, and that may sway the vote. And people, you know, they fall for that. Yeah.
Right now, there are UNC officials doing exactly that in Bangladesh.
When you were in the UNC, was that happening as well? Were you aware of that happening in the UNC?
When I went to UNC, I want to go slowly. Don't mind, I'm tired. When I went to UNC, it was very rare for an African to put on a yellow shirt. It was almost impossible. Or else he would hide. Apart from Braid Mark on a soapbox, there was no real African in the party. And when I went there, I said, look, I must use the party as a vehicle to unify the country. And I began to walk and talk in the corridor. And I became the party's chairman. And I made sure the first time we were elected as a government and went to parliament, what did I do? I told the whole parliament, the whole UNC, I should say, right? I took all of them to breakfast shed for lunch. Of course, they had never come back there since. But I'm there every other week. So that's a big difference. My form of thing is different from theirs. My party's mantra is representation, action, and performance. And believe me, no other party practices that as much as we do.
I'd say, is it actually the responsibility of an MP to improve the constituency they're elected in? Is it actually the responsibility of an MP to improve the constituency they've been elected in? Is that not the responsibility of local government?
No.
And MPs not elected as legislators as opposed to constituency representatives?
Historically, in this country, when you're in opposition, you and your party suffer. And all the plums and things and so on are given to those constituencies where you are a member or a minister of the cabinet. You have to go on your knees and grovel sometimes to get help. But in my case, it was different. I didn't, from 2007, 2010, when I made my most mark in Shogunas West, I didn't grovel. What the government refused to do, I did for myself. It may cost me some money, but I did for myself. Because at the end of the day, I was concerned about improving the lives of the people.
Okay, again, no disrespect, but I don't really think you answered my question. I'm asking,
what's the question?
Legally, is the responsibility of an MP to the constituency that they've been elected in, or is it as a legislator? And is the responsibility for the improvement of a constituency not the remit of the local government in that area?
I want to make sure I get you. You are asking me if it is legal, legitimate. Are you asking me?
No.
No, move your hand from the phone.
Who does the final responsibility for improvement of a constituency? Is it the local government or the MP? Right, fantastic. One more thing I wanted to ask about the hearty foods debacle in which the Prime Minister is intertwined. Is it legal for the Prime Minister to have distributed the $5,000 lump sum to the entrenched workers?
She went to cabinet and got cabinet approval, and therefore that makes it legal.
That makes it legal.
But it's wrong.
Or, but the reason I ask is because it seems to me like public money being used to bail out a private business.
That's why it's wrong.
But it's actually not illegal. In this particular case.
It's not illegal.
Okay.
Because Parliament cabinet approved it.
All right. Okay.
But guys, trust me, I tell you, it is wrong. What the Prime Minister did was to politicize the situation and to see if that helped her to get some votes. That is why.
Well, I saw something highlighted that the MDCUM workers, when their warehouse was also burned down, it's about the same amount of workers who were entrenched. There was mention, I think, for a day, and it was around the amount of water WASA was able to provide for the fire at the time. And as far as I'm aware so far, there still has been no compensation. Thank you, Caroline. For these workers, are you privy to any other information?
None, because for the Prime Minister, they have no political value. In fact, you recall that 4 persons were murdered in Chatham. 4. The Prime Minister never went to sympathize with the family. The Minister of the People, the 10 days Minister, Christine Wallo Hussain, she never went. At the end of the day, you know who buried them? I did. Through an agency in Point. Now tell me, doesn't that situation, doesn't warrant somebody, Prime Minister, Minister, going and see what's happening and to of course empathize with people? But as long as there is no political value for her, this Prime Minister doesn't take part.
Very interesting conversation as we continue. We've got the final session coming up after this commercial break as we get ready to wrap up the chair for this season, and of course this particular edition with our very special guest, Mr. Jack Austin Warner. We'll be back with the final session after these.
Well, it's politics time again. Are you going?
The Mix Promotions presents